Hello there. This is Yakkin with Nick, and I'm Nick. I'm Nick Hazelton, and we're just yakking today. Yep. I have a couple things that I want to touch on. First of all, I want to ask you a favor. I'm trying to structure the show a little bit differently. It's nothing very important on your end, but I want to explain it so the stuff that is on your end, it makes more sense. I think that I could put together better presentations and more entertaining and more valuable shows if I wrote outlines and I planned ahead. So I'd like to start planning ahead at least a few weeks ahead of time for what shows I'm going to talk about. What am I going to talk about on a show, that is, so that I can provide more valuable and entertaining content. Because I feel like at this point, I'd like to think I'm doing a pretty good job, but I think that I'm too... what's the word I'm trying to use? Things like this happen. That's not actually that bad of an example. I've done a few takes where I just on this show exactly, where I just go on tangents and I go off, and it's funny because I talked about how I didn't want to do that anymore, and then I go and do it. I think those tangents are fun and they're kind of valuable, but I'd like to limit them and make them more structured. So I'd like to be able to go on tangents at least and come back, come back to the position where I was and keep talking about whatever I thought was valuable, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be entertaining and valuable at the same time. And I think that I could improve by writing outlines and planning ahead. And what I want from you is to give me some ideas. What do you want to hear on Yakkin with Nick? I'm very curious to hear from you, because this is Yakkin with Nick, not Yakkin by Nick. It's not just me. It's partly you. You're very much a part of this, and I want you to be a part of this. So let me know what you want to hear on Yakkin with Nick. What would you like to listen to? If it's more stuff about Stoicism, let me know. If it's more stuff about farming, hey, let me know. If you have a question about yaks, ask me, and I may do a show about it. I may not take all of your suggestions, because I know there are a few people in this audience that will give me some pretty inappropriate suggestions. And yes, the show is explicit, but I have limits, friends. I will I don't know where I'm going with that, but yeah, give me feedback. What do you want to hear? You can email me. Voice cracked. I'm not a man. I'm a man. I hit puberty a long time ago, and sometimes my voice cracks. Email me at yakkinwithnick. That's YAKKIN with Nick, NICK, at gmail.com. yakkinwithnick@gmail.com. And you can email me and say, hey, I want to hear about this. You can also throw it out on the feedback group, the Facebook group. There's a Yakkin with Nick feedback group. I really want you in there. I want you. I'm talking to you. You need to be in that group, because I need your feedback. I need you. That's a good meme. Hey, if somebody could make me a meme with me that's not going to work. Photoshop a yak onto Uncle Sam's head, and I will use it as the Yakkin with Nick banner image or whatever it is. It says, I want you. Dude, if you do it, I will I'll give you like $1 in Bitcoin. How about that? I'm not even kidding. Make me that meme. I'll pay you $1. If multiple people do it, it's the first person to get the best person. The best one gets the money. No, because what if I have like 20 people send me memes? The first person gets it. So be quick. And I won't tell you when the first person gets it, so I have random ones coming in so I can listen to your disappointed responses or read them, probably because it'd be email. Anyway, this was a dumb tangent. I'm sorry. I want your feedback. Yakkin with Nick. Jesus. This is the problem. See, this is exactly what I was saying. I go on these weird tangents, but I can come back. I've got it back because I have my notes. I have notes today. It's not that detailed. I don't know what I was saying. I do. I'm just kidding. Contact me through email, yakkinwithnick@gmail.com. Hop in the feedback group, the Facebook feedback group. You can just look up Yakkin with Nick feedback group on the search bar, and you will find it. I guarantee you. I am posting the link in every show note of every show. I haven't done it on the previous ones, but you should be. Just go to this one. Why would you go to a previous one when you could go to this one anyway? I don't know. Click on the link, or if you're on your little phone, if you're on iTunes, I think you can like highlight it. I think it should link actually in the show notes. I don't know, but do it. Go there. That's where I really want you, because I like to hear feedback, and that's the best place to put it, because other people can see it. If you don't want other people to see it, just email me, yakkinwithnick@gmail.com. You can comment on the website. You can comment on Facebook, wherever I post it. I only post it in a few places. I think that's all I wanted to get out there. Tell me what you want to hear on Yakkin with Nick, because I value your opinion. I really like to hear from you guys, and it's not intrusive. And please, I'd really enjoy it if you like this show, and take an opportunity to get more out of it. Yeah, cool. I want to talk about the program last week, the show I did with Brian Sovryn on hedonism and Stoicism. I learned a lot from this conversation. I enjoyed it very much. I thought it was quite cool. I thought it was a valuable conversation, and because I learned a lot. Yeah, I said that. I came out of it I've been thinking about it, but I came out of it definitely changed my position on hedonism. I wasn't entirely familiar with it, and it was great to hear the definition that Brian had, because I'm not really, when I study these ancient philosophies, I'm not really interested in the philosophy itself, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is I don't want to be totally engrossed in Epicureanism. I don't want to read Epicurus. I don't want to read Marcus Aurelius. I don't want to read all the Stoic literature. So I should say I have the intention to read those books someday, but I'm not a reader. I don't really need an in-depth thing, because like if you look at Stoicism, it's not just this ethical philosophy that I talk about. There's pieces to it like that talk about this is how the universe works and all these things. Stoicism is a very in-depth philosophy, if you didn't know, but the most I'm trying to just take the valuable pieces out of these philosophies that I read, and that's what I feel like we do with hedonism, and that's what I do with Stoicism. I only take the ethics because I think that's where it's useful. That's where you can apply it to your life most easily, most readily. So that's what I try to do, is I try to take the most valuable pieces. And what I found very valuable in hedonism, at least the way that Brian talked about it, was as this kind of foundation in the way we look at ethics. And this goes back into my anarcho-Yakkinism thing, my foundations of philosophy. I'm trying to not talk as an academic, because I don't want to say I'm an academic, but I talk like that. I use big words like epistemology, and I try to be very clear about when I talk about. You wouldn't expect that from the way I'm talking now, but that's a promise that I can sound smart. So I'm trying not to sound smart today, and it's working, isn't it? But this hedonism, this idea of living for. No, how am I defining it? I guess seeking happiness is basically the idea. And that happiness is kind of we hold it in the highest regard. And in my opinion, that's my foundation in ethics. And what I mean by that, as the foundation of ethics, is that when I look at ethics, I'm trying to say, like, this is so complicated. I don't drop the word ethics. Just ignore that. Ignore that I said that. I'm trying to live the best life I can, right? When I study philosophy, I'm thinking I don't know how to explain this without using the previous terminology I've used in the past, and one of that is ethics, so I have to define it. Bring back ethics. Bring back that word. I apologize, guys. When I look at ethics, I'm trying to figure out how to live the best life. Ethics deals with morality, and just based on what I believe, and see, I don't want to explain all this. I believe that you should be trying to live the best life possible, right? Through our actions, we're trying to meet whatever that means. the best life possible. We're trying to get there. In a perfect world, every action that we take would be to meet that end. And in my opinion, the end that I am going for is a life that I can, like at the end of my life, I can look back and say, hey, that was a fun time. I really enjoyed that. I'm glad I got to live this life. That's basically it. That's all I need, right? Because if I have that, then, hey, what else do I need? I don't need a fancy car. I don't need all these things. I don't need to rule the world. I just need to be happy. That's all I want. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm happy all the time, right? It just means that I'm, when I look back, I can say, hey, I had a good time. And most of the time, I'd like to be having a good time. It's my understanding of the world at this moment that I do have to struggle to get to the places I want to get, and that's fine. I'm okay with that because I think that it'll make me happier in the end, if that makes sense. So that's kind of a side thought, but that's the idea. So that's where hedonism is if that's from my understanding from Brian, is what I'm going for, and that's hedonism is to be happy and to seek happiness. And it's an interesting discussion to seek happiness as an end. I've heard a lot of people criticize that idea and say you can't be happy if you're trying to be happy. That's simplifying it. You can't be happy if you're seeking happiness as an end. It's more about the process. So that's an argument people make, and I think it's interesting, but I think that you can pretty easily step around that argument and say, well, if I have to be seeking something else to be happy, then I'm just going to seek something else in order to seek happiness, right? That's still makes the philosophy sound to me, I think. Does that make sense? I hope so. So that's the main idea, is I'm trying to live a life that I'm going to be happy with. That's it. That's what hedonism is, and I think that's a very valuable way to look at life, and I think that's great. So I would say that I'm a hedonist. Yeah, so I would like you to consider that. I'd like to hear from you too. What do you think about that? Are you trying to seek happiness? Is there something else that you're trying to do? There are some very wise people in my audience, and there are particular ones I want to hear from. I won't name names, but I'd love to hear from you. What do you think about that? And some other thoughts I have. I think Stoicism fits in there because it's a tool to, I guess, kind of. I want to use the word mitigate. I don't really know what that means. I know that you mitigate risks, but I don't really know what that means. That's the word that comes to mind, though. Let me see if I can use a different one. It's kind of a tool to. Let me finish what I was saying. A tool to mitigate adversity, challenges. It's a way to deal with them. It's a way that we can take something that may seem negative, something that happens maybe seem negative, like let's use my car as an example. I have a pretty crappy vehicle. I have a Jeep, just empty every pocket. I saw somebody post that on Facebook recently. I thought it was great. It was really great because that's just about what I've done with that piece of shit. I have a nice XJ. Anyway, I shouldn't say nice. But instead of let's use a very specific example. I drove my vehicle up a hill with a pretty bad oil leak, and I ended up smashing one of my pistons. It just broke apart, and that was quite a predicament. But instead of taking that as a negative experience, I don't have a vehicle anymore, my life's ruined, it sucks that this happened to me. Instead of looking at it that way, a way that a Stoic would look at it is say, hey, this happened, but let's look for the learning opportunity in this. How is this challenge going to make us better? And I took a very Stoic approach to this fix. Since then, I've lost some of my Stoic training especially in regards to this vehicle. It's amazing what emotions that is brought out and how upset I've gotten. But what I decided to do is instead of complaining about it and dwelling on that, I fixed it. I learned how to replace a piston in a car. I tore the engine down and did it. I took it as a learning opportunity. And I don't mean to bring this example up to brag, right? I'm just saying this is what a Stoic would do. But you see the difference in the mindsets. You know, if I had just decided, oh, this sucks, throw it away, I wouldn't have a piece of crap vehicle that I still drive around. Yeah, maybe that would have been a better thing. I don't know. But instead, I took that as a learning opportunity. I said, let's face this challenge. I'm going to learn how to do this on my own. So I think that is a very valuable outlook. And that in that way, we can we become more resilient if we become more stoic, in my opinion. At least that's what I have found, is I can take these hard challenges and keep rolling. Honestly, I have to say I've had a harder time doing that recently. I don't know why. At least it seems like that. It may be, it's particular with this vehicle. I just got it running. I just shouldn't say I did it. Somebody else did it for me. I finally broke down and hired somebody. Broke down. That was unintentional, but I caught that. Anyway, that's a side note. But I continually get upset with that thing. But the first time it broke, I did perfectly fine. It's just over time, it's been pretty frustrating. But there's a difference in that mindset, right? There's a difference between taking that loss and just saying, oh, that really hurt, and kind of letting it affect you so negatively. I think it's important to feel emotions, even if they're so-called negative, right? There's a reason why those emotions rise up, and I don't think it's healthy to resist them, but I think it is healthy to look at them and say, oh, that happened, that's too bad, what can I do about it? What is in my control that I can change to make this a better situation for myself? So with the car, I look at it, this sucks, I have a broken piston, I'm going to take this opportunity as a learning opportunity so that I can learn something. Because that, I have to say, is one of my most proudest achievements. Tearing down that engine twice. I've done it twice now. I have to say that I'm quite proud of myself. How many of you have done that? Now you're just bragging. You're being an asshole. I'm sorry. But you see what I mean? That's a different outlook, and that's what Stoicism can do for us. It can it can add to that goal. That's a tool to meet that end of trying to be happy with my life. As I take it as you just look at challenges. You look at obstacles, adverse happenings, situations as a challenge, and then you overcome them, and that adds to it and say, hey, I just overcame that challenge. I can be happy about that. Does that make sense? I think it does. So that's something I think is valuable, and I think that's where hedonism and Stoicism come together and can be very valuable teamed up together. So I guess that's really what I have. I don't really have any other thoughts. If I listen to it again, I'm sure I could come up with other thoughts. But that's what I have. And I feel like I want to keep talking. I feel like I want to keep talking about something, but I don't really have anything in mind. We're at 18 minutes. I could leave you with that, or I could keep going. Here's an idea, because I just said that I've had a harder time being stoic, and I want to express this thought. I had this earlier today that I think I heard. Where did I hear this? I heard this on a show. I've listened to a number of shows today. I listened to one by Joe Rogan. I listened to one by Drew Sample. I listened to one by the Survival Podcast, Jack Spirko. Shoot, I don't remember what it is, but I heard this idea in one of these 3 episodes. Damn it, I'm thinking about it. I think it was Jack. I think it was Jack Spirko's show, where we focus on the negative. No, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't. It was, damn it, I don't know. It's stuck on that. I don't know. My mind's, it's done, Nick. I can't figure it out. We can move on. But as human beings, it was Drew Samples. It was Drew Samples' podcast. It was. He had a kind of a roundtable discussion with a few people, and I don't remember who it was, but they brought up this point that human beings are very quick to go negative on an idea. A new idea comes up and we trash it because evolutionarily it may have been beneficial to not take risks. So immediately we would shit on those ideas and say, nope, bad idea, better not take that risk. I don't think that's fully true. I think that, at least as a young person, I know that I'm very willing to take risks. But I do think that it's pretty natural for people to shit on ideas and to jump to the negative, because we're not really designed to be happy. At least that's what it seems. If you believe in evolutionary biology, we're not designed to be happy. We're designed to live. We're designed to adapt. That's what humans do. So it makes it a challenge. So I think that the problem that I have, the issue that I'm having recently, is I'm being very negative because there are a few things that are happening around me. Like, I guess I don't need to bring them up, but I've had some challenges recently, and it's quite frustrating. Most of these challenges are due to are on me. So that makes it even more frustrating, right? Because I'm trying to get myself to do things, but I said I didn't want to bring them up, but I kind of brought them up. But I looked so negatively, and I'm not thinking about all the positive aspects in my life. All these achievements that I have, I don't have that in mind. And I think that's where I'm having a hard time, because I'm just focusing on the negative. I'm thinking about, I need to manage my pastures. I need to do all these things. Market season's about to start. I need to do all this. I'm not productive enough. I need to have a better system in place. I can't deal with all these people talking to me at the same time. I can't, blah, 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 whatever it is. I'm focusing on these things, and I don't need to do that. I think that I should take in my, I don't know, whatever it is, I should add this to part of my going to bed routine or something, to think back. And I've tried to do this just in my mind, try to be mindful more often of the positive things around me, and focus on positive emotions, because it makes your life better. Because I've just, the last month, actually, I shouldn't say month. It's been mostly the last week. I have a problem with like hyperbolizing and exaggerating sometimes, and I apologize. But that's something I think is something to keep in mind too. If you're looking to live a happy life, is to think about what has made you happy and what makes you happy now. Because even if you're feeling bad, I guarantee you there are some positive things in your life. And I don't mean to take away from struggle, right? It's, some people complain and they have valuable things to say. And I'm not saying this as to, hey, buck up, buddy. Don't think about negative things. Think about positive things. Be positive. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that you should be recognizing, I don't know about equally, but you should be recognizing both negative and positive aspects in life. Realize that you are dissatisfied in some areas and you want to make changes, but also remember that you came from a very different place, and that you have made considerable improvements on your life. No matter who you are, I'm sure you have. There are things that are going right in your life, and there are things that you should be proud of, that you can be proud of, and that you should think about, because you deserve to be happy. And that's what I want to leave you guys with today. If you'd like to help out this show, Yakkin with Nick, I would really appreciate your financial donations. What else would? Damn it! I'm sorry. I don't know. I'd like some help in that regard. It costs money to do this show. It costs me about $20 a month. I go through the Liberated Syndication company, hosting company, to host podcasts. That's Libsyn, and it costs me $20 a month to host this show. Right now, I am. I think I've paid half of that through donations to the show. I have 2 patrons. Altogether, I think I am making $5.75 off that a month, and then my grandfather is paying me in person. He doesn't want to hop on Patreon. He pays me in cash, so that's fine, and I appreciate it. To the 3 people that support me, it really helps, because I don't have money. I live with my parents, and they're very kind enough to, not make me pay rent right now, but that's going to come up soon. I pledged to do this show for 3 months. I think we're at the end of, I think I go until next month, is what I have, what's the word? I committed to doing. But after that, if I'm not making money, I'm going to have to reconsider, and see if this is a project that I really want to pursue. Right now, I'm feeling like I do, but we'll see, because I'll be getting busier as market season starts up again, and the sun's coming out. I'm going to have to be spending time doing other things. I'd like to think that I'll be able to do this, but I don't have all of my productivity systems and my habits in order. I'm making considerable changes to my life, and I think that it'll work out. I really hope so. But there's a chance that it won't. And so if you like this program, and if you'd like me to keep going, consider donating $1 a month. That's $12 a year. Come on, folks. That would be great for me. It's really helpful for me, and it adds up. If I could be making $25 a month, I'm pretty much willing to do that. And I don't know. Yeah. What I'm saying is, if I'm making a profit off this show, it becomes a higher priority for me, because I'm a young man, and I have to eventually here make a living for myself. And the Yaks will be able to do it, but if this is a project that is not bringing me money, it may be that I have to choose another project, because to live in this world, you have to make money. That's just the facts of life. And while that sucks, and I wish I could be a communist, I'm not. I'm a capitalist. I've decided that instead of complaining about that system, I'm going to live in it and do what I can in my control, and that is to work on projects that make money. So I'm doubtful that I'll stop doing this show, but it just makes it it makes it easier for me to justify doing, if I'm making money. So if you'd like to help me with that, I'd really appreciate it. You can donate via Bitcoin and PayPal. If you go to and-yak.com, that's the old website. I should figure out how to. I could probably put the PayPal stuff and Bitcoin stuff on the Patreon page. Maybe I'll do that this week, but I'd really appreciate it if you consider donating. Hey, just $1 a month. It'd be really great. It'd be really cool. So to do that, you can go to patreon.com/justyakin. That's patreon.com/JUSTYAKKIN. patreon.com/JUSTYAKKIN. patreon.com/justyakin. You can also donate at and-yak.com/donation. an-yak.com/donation. That's where the Bitcoin and PayPal links and QR code are. And again, a really great help is to hop in that feedback group. Write me an email. Tell me what you think about the show. I really appreciate hearing from you guys. And again, I want to hear, what do you want to hear on Yakkin with Nick? I would like to take your requests into consideration. How's that for politician speak? Yeah, do that. Hop in the Facebook group, the Yakkin with Nick feedback group. Look it up. You can email me at yakkinwithnick@gmail.com. And is there anything else? Write me a review on iTunes or Google Play. I really appreciate that too. If you enjoy this show, please write a review. Cool. Thank you guys again. I really appreciate that you listen, and this is why I do it, so I can talk to you. I will talk to you again later this week. Yeah.